If you love movies and movie discussions, you come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz. I'm here today to review the 1970 documentary Gimme Shelter, directed by Albert and David Maysles and Charlotte Zwerin. Before I get into the review of Gimme Shelter, I just want to point out something that's very interesting about documentary filmmaking, and it's that you have to have some good luck on your side at times to get the right footage and to have the story you're about to show. This movie is basically the Maysles brothers. They were documenting the U.S. tour of the Rolling Stones. And at the end of that tour was the Altamont Speedway Free Concert. Just the luck to have not only to be there, which I think that's not the luck really that was there, but to get the right footage and get the right stuff that you would need to show what happened does take a good amount of luck. In that aspect, it is interesting to watch a documentary and then think about, wow, they must have been really lucky to be at the right place at the right time and get the right shots for all this to work. It's good to put into perspective what Gimme Shelter is. When you hear about Gimme Shelter, I think what a lot of people discuss is the Altamont Free Concert. What's interesting about this movie is it is about that sort of. The free concert is in the second half of the film, but the first half is a lot of concert footage, and it's also about the Stones and the people that are helping the Stones set up this concert that they are trying to do, which is the Altamont Speedway Free Concert that happened, I believe, in 1969 in San Francisco. What's interesting about the movie is it's a showcase in lack of maturity and planning, especially in the part of the Stones. The story basically is this. The Stones want to do this free concert in San Francisco. I think they originally chose the Golden Gate Bridge Park, but that started having a lot of complications. And then they decided within a very short amount of time to have it at the Altamont Speedway. The film shows basically the people that are handling the Stones and lawyers that are representing the Stones try to get this all set up and ready for them to do the concert. And to think about the logistics and all the handling you have to take care of is daunting in that. And it's almost irresponsible. Well, no, it's not almost irresponsible. It's completely irresponsible to actually think that this could be done. And the film really shows what the handlers had to do to get it going and the complications with that, while on the other side, the Stones are just doing their thing, carefree. They're doing their concerts, they're doing their thing, and that's about it. It's an interesting juxtaposition as well, because the film not only shows what the Stones were doing before the concert, they showed what they were doing at the aftermath. What's interesting about this movie is that it has this interesting juxtaposition where the Stones are watching the film that you are watching as well and reacting to it, especially Mick Jagger in this movie. And it's really interesting to see. It shows a difference in demeanor between the Stones before the concert happened and then after it. And it tells much more about their mentality and how they are afterwards without going into talking head mode and going into interview mode and having them say, yes, I've greatly matured after this happened. What a horrible thing that happened. But I think the way that they did it in this movie was much more organic, and I think was a better job in that. I do want to point out one thing, though. The film is much more, I would say, a concert film than anything. But it's like a concert film, and then it is the planning of that concert, and then it's a slight true crime angle to it. So if you're watching this thing and they're going to go deep into what happened at the free concert, I think you would want to gauge your expectations there. So if that's what you're looking for, I would say maybe hold back on that one. And here are the footnotes for Gimme Shelter. I'm actually surprised no one has made a biopic about this concert and what happened. I think that would be an interesting 2.5 hour biopic. Maybe just set it at the concert and then splice little bits of what happened beforehand just to show how misplanned it was. But this is really fascinating. And the thing with Gimme Shelter is it's good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't really satiate my curiosity about what happened and how everything happened. And maybe it's just a story of just chaos happened, and then it's just basically what happened. I really want to know more. That's probably the one thing about this movie I'm a little disappointed by, but I don't think that was the purpose of the movie as well. Overall, I'm going to recommend the 1970 documentary Gimme Shelter. Like I said, I think it's an interesting movie. I will say this, though. I think you either need to be a fan of the Stones or just be kind of, you're like, I don't care about the Stones. If you hate the Stones, I don't think you're going to get into this. A lot of their music is in it, and I think it's also prominently about Jagger and his reaction before and after all this happened. But if you're not a fan of the Stones, you maybe want to skip this one. Honestly, I'm more impressed with how the filmmakers decided to actually present this and to show the differences between how the Stones were before and after, and I think that is the big highlight of the film. I will say this, the concert footage is actually very well shot. So overall, I recommend Gimme Shelter. Check it out on Max, and I believe it's also on the Criterion channel if you want to check it out. Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. All right, so for Tuesday, I'll be reviewing Lawrence of Arabia, directed by David Lean. Thursday, Walkabout, directed by Nicholas Roeg. And on Saturday, I'm going to be reviewing a film that is a sequel to a film that me and Zero reviewed, I believe, last year. And that's Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. I'm kind of surprised Zero decided he didn't want to do this one, because I kind of gave him like a little red meat, like, oh, how about why don't we finish this? And he was kind of like, nah, not really. It's like, okay, fine. So I am going to check that out on my own on Saturday. So for Tuesday, I'll be reviewing Lawrence of Arabia, directed by David Lean. Thursday, Walkabout, directed by Nicholas Roeg. And Saturday, Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. I am The Wiz, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.